Manchester United's summer transfer plans appear to be taking another dramatic turn, and this latest development has already sparked major discussions among supporters across social media. For weeks, the name Matheus Fernandes has been heavily linked with a move to Old Trafford, with many fans believing he could become one of the key midfield additions ahead of the new season. However, recent reports suggest that the club is now moving in a different direction, and the reason behind that decision is attracting plenty of attention. The biggest issue appears to be West Ham's valuation of the midfielder. The London club are reportedly demanding around £85 million for Fernandes, a figure that Manchester United are simply unwilling to match. While United admire the player and acknowledge his quality, there is a growing belief within the club that the asking price is significantly above what they consider reasonable market value. This represents a notable shift in how Manchester United are approaching transfers. In previous years, the club often faced criticism for paying inflated fees in order to secure their preferred targets. Supporters frequently complained that rival clubs seemed to increase their demands whenever United entered negotiations. Now, the club seems determined to avoid repeating those mistakes. Many fans have reacted positively to the reports. Across social media platforms, supporters have been praising the club's apparent willingness to walk away from deals that do not make financial sense. Some fans argue that while Fernandes is undoubtedly talented, no midfielder outside the absolute elite category should command a fee as high as £85 million. Others, however, believe United could regret stepping away from the deal. There is a section of the fan base that sees Fernandes as a unique talent capable of transforming the midfield immediately. These supporters feel that elite players often require elite fees and that United should be prepared to invest heavily if they truly believe in the player's abilities.
Adding another layer of complexity to the situation is the involvement of Tottenham Hotspur. Reports suggest that Spurs are currently leading the race for Fernandes, putting them in a stronger negotiating position. Tottenham's interest has naturally created concern among some United supporters who fear missing out on a player who could become a star elsewhere. The possibility of watching Fernandes thrive at a Premier League rival is not something many United fans want to imagine. History has shown that transfer decisions can come back to haunt clubs, particularly when a player develops into one of the league's standout performers after a failed pursuit. Despite these concerns, Manchester United appear confident in their alternative plans. Rather than becoming involved in a bidding war, the club has reportedly shifted its focus toward Bournemouth midfielder Alex Scott, a player who has been admired by scouts for several years. Scott's emergence as a target has generated excitement for different reasons. Unlike Fernandes, who comes with a massive valuation, Scott is viewed as a player with enormous potential and significant room for development. Many supporters see him as a smart investment, rather than an expensive gamble. The Bournemouth star has steadily built a reputation as one of England's most promising young midfielders. His technical ability, intelligence on the ball, and willingness to work hard off possession have impressed coaches and analysts alike. These qualities make him an attractive option for a club seeking long-term solutions. One aspect that particularly appeals to Manchester United is Scott's versatility. Modern football increasingly demands players who can perform multiple roles, and Scott possesses the flexibility to operate in various midfield positions. This adaptability could prove valuable throughout a demanding season. Supporters have already begun debating whether Scott represents better value than Fernandes. Some believe the Bournemouth midfielder offers similar potential at a significantly lower cost. Others argue that while Scott is talented, he has not yet demonstrated the same level of impact as Fernandes. The discussion has created a fascinating divide among fans. On one side are those prioritizing immediate quality and proven performances. On the other are supporters who prefer strategic recruitment, focused on youth, development, and financial sustainability. Manchester United's recruitment team appears to be leaning toward the second approach. The club's leadership reportedly wants to build a squad capable of competing for many years, rather than making short-term decisions driven by hype and pressure. This strategy reflects broader changes happening behind the scenes at Old Trafford. There is a growing emphasis on careful planning, detailed scouting, and smarter financial management. The days of making emotional transfer decisions may be slowly disappearing. Many fans believe this is exactly what the club needs. For years, supporters have watched rivals make intelligent signings, while United often appeared reactive in the transfer market. A more disciplined approach could ultimately prove beneficial. At the same time, patience is not always easy for a fan base desperate to return to the top. Manchester United supporters expect trophies, title challenges, and major signings. Balancing those expectations with responsible spending remains a difficult task. Alex Scott's profile certainly aligns with modern recruitment principles. He is young, ambitious, technically gifted, and already familiar with the demands of English football. These factors reduce some of the risks associated with signing players from overseas leagues. His ability to progress the ball through midfield is another attractive feature. United have often struggled to control games consistently, and Scott's energy and movement could help improve transitions between defense and attack. Observers have frequently praised his composure under pressure. Even when facing aggressive pressing, Scott tends to remain calm and make intelligent decisions. Such qualities are highly valued at the highest level. There is also the matter of resale value. While supporters rarely focus on this aspect, clubs increasingly consider it when making investments. Younger players often retain or increase their value over time, making them financially attractive acquisitions. Meanwhile, Tottenham's pursuit of Fernandes continues to generate headlines. Should Spurs successfully complete the signing, comparisons between Fernandes and Scott would likely begin immediately. Every performance would be analyzed through the lens of this transfer battle. That possibility adds even more intrigue to the story. Fans love narratives, and a Fernandes versus Scott rivalry would provide plenty of talking points throughout the season. Some pundits have already suggested that United may actually benefit from missing out on Fernandes. They argue that avoiding an £85 million expenditure could allow the club to strengthen multiple positions rather than committing a huge portion of the budget to one player. This perspective has gained traction among supporters who believe the squad requires improvements across several areas. Strengthening midfield, attack, and defense simultaneously may be more beneficial than pursuing one marquee signing. Others remain unconvinced. They point out that elite teams often possess elite individuals capable of changing matches single-handedly. If Fernandes develops into such a player, critics may question United's decision for years to come. The pressure surrounding transfer decisions at Manchester United is unlike almost any other club in world football. Every move attracts intense scrutiny, and every missed opportunity becomes a topic of debate. For Alex Scott, being linked with United represents a significant endorsement of his talent. Even if a deal does not materialize, the interest highlights how highly he is regarded within football circles. Supporters who have watched Scott closely describe him as fearless, energetic, and highly intelligent. Those attributes often resonate strongly with fans who appreciate players willing to take responsibility on the pitch. His age also means he has considerable room for growth. Coaches often value players they can develop according to specific tactical requirements rather than relying solely on established stars. There is a growing feeling among sections of the fan base that Scott could become one of the smartest signings of the summer if the deal happens. The excitement stems not just from what he is now, but from what he could become in the future. Transfer windows are often defined by unexpected twists, and this situation perfectly illustrates that reality. A target who seemed heavily linked to the club only weeks ago may now be slipping away, while a different option rises rapidly up the shortlist. Manchester United's willingness to explore alternatives demonstrates flexibility in their recruitment strategy. Rather than becoming obsessed with one player, they appear prepared to pivot when circumstances change. This adaptability could become a major strength moving forward. The best recruitment departments rarely allow themselves to become trapped in a single negotiation. Fan reactions continue to pour in. Some supporters are celebrating the club's refusal to overpay, describing it as a sign of maturity and improved leadership. Others remain cautious, arguing that actions matter more than intentions. They want to see successful signings arrive before praising the new approach. The debate is likely to continue throughout the summer. Every new report, update, and rumor will influence public opinion and shape expectations. For now, one thing appears increasingly clear. Manchester United are unwilling to meet West Ham's £85 million valuation for Matheus Fernandes. Instead, attention is shifting toward Bournemouth's Alex Scott, a player whose profile aligns with the club's evolving recruitment philosophy. Whether this decision ultimately proves wise or costly remains to be seen. Football history is full of transfers that looked brilliant at the time and disastrous years later. What cannot be denied is that this story has become one of the most interesting talking points of Manchester United's summer window. If Scott arrives and fulfills his potential, supporters may look back on this moment as the point where the club chose intelligence over impulse. If Fernandes joins Tottenham and becomes a superstar, critics will inevitably revisit the decision and question whether United were too cautious. That is the reality of modern football. Every transfer carries risk, every negotiation involves compromise, and every decision invites judgment. For Manchester United, the coming weeks could shape not only the squad for next season, but also perceptions of the club's entire recruitment strategy. The battle for midfield reinforcements continues. The speculation shows no signs of slowing down, and supporters around the world will be watching closely to see how this fascinating transfer saga finally unfolds.